Hi everyone, welcome to Talk with Tarot. I'm Deb and I'd love to introduce you to a series we're getting underway called Snapshots of the Fool. And this series is all about how different artists have interpreted and shown us the Fool card. Hi, today's Fool card is from the Ghost deck, which is my personal favourite. I use it for my own work. The artist is David Corsi, and his take on the Fool card is really quite special and insightful, so I really want to share that with you. It took me a little while to get into the card. I didn't really understand it, but that's one of the special things about this deck that I like, is that I have to keep working at it. I go deeper and deeper into it and make connections that are outside of the normal ones that you make, because you're not only dealing with the current world in this deck, but you're also dealing with things from the past. That's a big part of us as people. As humans, we carry the past with us, our own personal past and the history of our culture. Everything that we know, we bring with us, even though at that point in time we might be doing something completely different. We're tremendously adaptable, let's just say, and we have huge capacity for all sorts of things. In this card, we see the very common Rider-Waite interpretation of the Fool and the little world that he inhabits on his own. Because you'll notice that the Fool is usually just alone, apart from a companion animal. You don't usually see this social background or any other context. You just see that character on his own. And in most of the Rider-Waite cards, you see the Fool going out, stepping out, and he's out there on his own purpose, which is really about getting off on his own adventure. But obviously, in this one where he's a ghost, he's done that, he's been there, it's all over for him. So he has a completely different set of values and a completely different time that he's governed by, and all those sorts of rules. Gravity doesn't mean an awful lot to him. He could just as easily fly off the end of the cliff as walk away. So the rules of human existence and the things that normally bind us down to this planet don't apply to him anymore. So we can see there, what is it that he's doing that's showing value, that he's bringing from spirit world into the physical world, what still applies. So in this card, the context is the cliff is still there. It's just as real. It's part of this world. The sunset's here. It's still part of this world. The purpose of the Fool is no longer stepping out into new adventures. He has no new adventures to go into. He's done it. He's finished. So he has a different reason for being where he is. I like to think that he's there to see the sunset. Even though he's dead, he still appreciates the real world that we live in. He still acknowledges what a beautiful planet we live in and how magical it can be when the sun is just in the right place at the right time in the evening and it's going down. And how lovely that is. And because he's spirit, he becomes part of that. You can see he has a cloak. He can wear the garments of the clouds. He could have wings. He can use the sunset to help him fly. He can do all of those things. But what is he actually doing? He's taken his purpose to the top of a cliff to look at the sunset, and he stopped. He stopped because the companion animal, the dog that's with him, is calling out to him. It's giving him a warning, it's asking for something, it's just connecting with him. And he stopped. He's turned around and he's put his hand down to comfort it, to pat it, to reassure it, to understand it, to connect with it, to acknowledge that the dog is also spirit like he is, that together they're spirit. to show love to the dog, to show compassion. And that is another reason why this card is so beautiful. This insight into humans is so lovely. It shows us that humans have a tremendous ability to show compassion that extends beyond the borders of us as individual humans. So often we just see the card where the fool's just thinking about himself. That's it. It's all about me. But in this card, he's not. He's thinking about the dog. He's showing how he can love, stop what he's doing, put what he wants and what he's up to one side and turn around and reach out to someone that isn't himself, that isn't like him. He can just be spirit and love the spirit in the dog. And I think that for me probably explains why this is such a beautiful card, because it shows something so beautiful about humans, and we don't want to lose that. We really don't want to. We'll end up with just the rock if we're not careful. We'll end up with just a sunset if we're not careful. And all the beauty will be hidden behind the scenes in the past. We mustn't lose that. We must stay loving. We must make our purpose acknowledging and reaching out and looking at what's beautiful and being tender and caring. So thank you for this Fool and this insight into the Fool. It's just lovely. Cheers.